Speaking of defense, Matt, Devin White, I got him as the defensive MVP. He is the quarterback of the defense and another team captain and a first-time Pro Bowler. I like what I saw this year, Matt, in the joint practices. It's one thing to do it in practice when you know what the Buccaneers plays are, but when the Dolphins came to town, and I was up there in Tennessee with Josh Capo, and we're watching Devin White, he is covering tight ends and running backs out of the backfield on pass routes like a blanket. He has shown so much improvement. I think that's the key to him being a complete linebacker this year, because he's going to get a handful of sacks with those A-gap blitzes. I think he's taken everything to heart that Larry Foote has said. He wants to be better. I really think this guy is going to become a true Pro Bowl player this year. What do you think, man?
I think he's the X factor for this defense for sure. If they get a 2020 version of Devin White with even better coverage, I think this defense can, without question, be a top 5, if not a top 3. If Devin, the key is, like, we've seen the strides, is just maintaining it throughout a season. Like, I don't really care if he was great in a training camp practice against the Dolphins, if it just means he's going to fall for the play action and get carved up by, like, Jameis in week 2. So while he's proved a lot and taken a big step, I do want to see all of that occur in a game. And I think it will. I think Devin White obviously is a very prideful guy. He's a team captain for a reason. Like, he obviously cares and wants to do, the best for his teammates around him, let alone himself. He's still going to be flying around everywhere. And I do think his coverage has improved, but we kind of said that last year in training camp as well, and never truly came to fruition during the season. So I do think he can take that step for everything that you said, with Larry Foote in there as the inside linebackers coach. Yeah. I think for me personally, and I think part of it is because he's coming off an injury, but if I'm taking a Bucs MVP, I was thinking about Tryon-Shoyinka a little bit, but I think I would have to go with Lavonte David, because I think a fully healthy Lavonte David that gets back to creating turnovers, as we talked about, that's going to be the difference for the Bucs defense that we kind of missed last year. It's like the timely takeaways, the big turnovers. And Lavonte, even with not making too many splash plays, was still in there, trying to get that ball out. And with the secondary that drops it,
he did in the Rams game, playing at 60% with that bum wheel that he had.
Yeah,
he still caused a huge fumble, and that was one of the key turnovers during the Bucs' failed comeback attempt against the Rams. But I'm with you. I think if Lavonte David can come back, and it's funny, when I was flying out to Kansas on Thursday night, I ran into Lavonte at the airport, and he just has it in his eye, man. He's healthy. He's in a contract year. He wants to prove, like Tom Brady, that he's an old man, not as old as Brady, but he's older, especially for a linebacker. You got to run around. You need that speed that he can still play. One thing that we saw from Lavonte David was the instincts are as sharp as ever, and where the mind led, the body followed. He came up with 2 red zone interceptions on Tom Brady in practice.
Yeah.
A, Tom Brady does not throw interceptions in practice. B, if they happen, they're not in the red zone, where he has yet to throw an interception in a regular season game in Tampa. He has not thrown a red zone interception. That's amazing. Plus, he's thrown a bunch of touchdowns. But that's where Lavonte David shows up. He is a spark plug for this defense. And he even came out and said at the end of the season press conference, he was not the splashy player last year he wanted to be. He wants to get back to that standard and prove to this team he's still deserving of a contract. He's not done playing football yet. He still has a lot of good plays left in him.